Now, you may come across situations now and then when you show up to the park and you do have the best basketball, especially if you watch this channel and watch my playlist on this channel. You will understand what you need in terms of what makes a good quality basketball. When you show up to the park and you do have the best basketball, the more casual the players are, the more likely they are to recognize that you do have the best basketball out there, and they may actually choose to use your basketball. The more serious they are, the more competitive they are, the more likely they are to only want to use their basketball, because they're used to their basketball. They know that you are not used to their basketball. Thus, they are counting on the likeliness that using their basketball is going to give them a distinct advantage over you. And the more strangers you play with on the more random courts that you go to, the less likely it is that you're going to actually be able to use that fancy, expensive, impressive basketball that you have, the one and only basketball that you're used to. Now you're putting yourself at a distinct disadvantage because you're used to the pebbling that your ball has. You're used to the grip channels. You're used to how it bounces. You're used to its grip and its texture. You're used to how it works for you specifically. But once you're not allowed to use it anymore, and you have to now use this other basketball, which is probably going to be less quality, less valuable than your basketball, and you're only used to using the highest quality, most expensive basketball. Now you're playing with on a scale of on 1 to 10, you're playing with a 6, and you're used to your basketball, which is like an 8 or 9. Can you adjust to that on the fly in the midst of competition and do it, without exposing that weakness of your game to the players around you? Very unlikely that you're going to be able to do that in a way where the more serious they are, if they see that you're uncomfortable with a ball, you're not really going to be able to hide that very well. The more they see that, the more aware of that they are, the more they're going to use it against you. But by starting your basketball career, your journey with the most basic basketball, now you're ensuring that if you start out using a 1 or a 2 on a scale of a 10, you master using that basketball, and you replace that basketball with another brand, another kind of basketball that's another 1 or another 2, and you master that again. The more you go through that process, the more likely it is that when you show up to those courts and you're playing with those strangers, no matter what basketball they have, you're going to be able to adjust and get comfortable to that new basketball pretty much automatically. Now, it's going to take you some repetitions of that happening, of that situation, for it to really feel comfortable and more innate, but it's going to happen for you quicker and more comfortably than another average player who started their career with a fancy, expensive basketball, because they're only used to those special features that expensive basketball has, whereas you started out with a basic ball. Because of that, now no matter what basketball you come across, you'll be able to use that basketball freely and comfortably compared to any other competition that you may come across. That is why beginner basketball players should not start out with expensive basketballs.